Right, we're going to start by cutting a block of tempeh. I've used the Tibby tempeh from Sainsbury's into bite-sized chunks. So as you can see, it comes in a small cylinder. So first thing I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to slice it this way, holding it together to probably just over ½ inch thick. So yeah, I've cut it into 4 and restack them, and I'm going to go straight down the centre, spin it straight down the centre again. So we've got some nice sort of bite-sized chunks. And that's that bit done. So over to the frying pan. So in a large frying pan, I'm going to add a large tablespoon of coconut oil. Get that heat on. And as that starts to melt, we're going to add 1 teaspoon, about ½ teaspoon of turmeric, about ½ teaspoon of garlic granules. One of the beauties of cooking on a narrowboat is everything slides to one side of the pan, and we might find that we start rocking a little bit because it is a little bit windy outside. And that's ½ teaspoon of turmeric. And then I'm just going to let them fuse together for a minute. Mix that out a little bit evenly. It'll be easier on a perfectly level surface, which I'm sure you'll have if you're cooking in a bricks and mortar kitchen. Right, to that we're going to add the tempeh that we just chopped. See if we can get those nicely covered. Look at that colour. Keep this on a medium to high heat. We don't want it spitting, but we do want it basically just heating through the tofu tempeh as quickly as possible. This tempeh is actually doesn't need cooking, and all we're trying to do is just crisp it up a little bit. As you can eat tempeh raw. You might have seen if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Look at that colours. And some over here. What we really need to do is put some weight on the opposite side of the narrowboat, and that will probably get rid of this bit of a tilt that we've got. But then as the water storage containers fill up, the tilt will swap to the other side and I'll be moving the weights back. Interesting fact for you if you're interested in one of the challenges of living on a narrowboat. It comes along with many benefits. I'm absolutely loving it. You can see we've pretty much got that all coated now, and we're probably just going to cook it for another 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll add some pre-cooked quinoa, which reminds me to get those peas on. And as I say, you can eat tempeh raw, but it certainly looks a bit more appetising. If you add a bit of flavour and colour and just heat it through, get the edges a little bit crispy. actually just going to turn that down a little bit just because I was a little bit late getting the peas on, and let's let those peas catch up a little bit. And the smell of that is amazing. And I would say they're pretty much cooked. But I'm wanting to serve this as a cool dish anyway, because I've let the quinoa, which I cooked earlier, cool down thoroughly. I mean, you could mix it in warm. I know there's a place in Nottingham that does a warm salad where you get a mixture of warm and cold foods, but as a cold food, this is actually perfect for a lunchbox. Kids, or if you're working somewhere that doesn't have a canteen like I do. Right, I'm going to turn that heat off because the peas are nowhere near there. Actually, just going to remove those from the heat for a few minutes. Right, those peas are finally cooked up, so all we're going to do now is combine the cooked peas. Really, we should probably wait for these to cool, but we don't need to worry about the little bit of oil that's in the pan, because that's actually going to help flavour the quinoa when we mix it in a minute. Take the nice fluffy quinoa, which I'll show you how to make in another video, and that's how much one small glass of quinoa makes when you mix it with 1 1/4 glasses of cold water. And that'll do me for 2 meals, that, so I want to put roughly, I suppose it's based on personal preferences, but I'm going to go with about that much. And then all we're going to do is combine everything as evenly as we can. And there we have a high protein meal loaded with nutrients. Make sure we get all the oil off the bottom of the pan, because all it will do is add a little bit more flavour. And then just add a little bit of salt to taste. You can always add more once it's in the dish, so I'm going to go with that amount. And there we have it. We have it, another lovely tasty vegan meal loaded with about 55 grams of plant-based protein.